Yeah.
We're live, by the way. Garage Happy Hour just started.
Oh, there you go.
Right here, there in the upper left corner of your screen, it says live. Eric Sykes,
Live.
our producer, just put us live. We're playing Guess What Polo is Drinking. I don't know. I know it's not. I can guess what it isn't. It's not water. It's a short cup.
Based on short. I mean,
it's
the
not.
thing
Okay.
is, I have big hands.
Okay.
See, like I have big hands, so everything that's on my hand or in my hands, it looks pretty small. So
Got it.
It is,
It's a decent sized cup then. Okay.
It's a decent sized cup. Yes. What's up, Tom? How we doing, man?
What's going on, man? I'm good. I'm drinking a beer, by the way. I'm at Pacifico today.
Cerveza.
Yeah, cerveza. I've got Budweiser in the fridge and Pacifico. Those are kind of my go-tos this time of year when it warms up back and forth. Celebrating a nice Cardinals victory today. Polo Ascencio, Cardinals broadcaster, is with us on the Garage Happy Hour, and your partner, Bengie Molina, is going to be with us here momentarily. He's driving right now. We don't do the Garage Happy Hour while we're driving. We got to make sure.
I mean, especially if you're drinking your Pacifico, I'm drinking my mystery drink. I mean, even though Benji doesn't really drink a lot of alcohol or adult beverages, as I call them, we don't want to risk it there. But hey, Tom, thank you for having me. I mean, I know you had a bunch of people. I always see your tweets. Okay, okay, all right. Hey, I guess, whatever. But finally, thank you so much for inviting me to this future to be award-winning show.
This is way overdue. Yeah, John Mozeliak gave me all kinds of trouble a few weeks ago. He said it took you a year to have me on the show. Like, what is the deal?
Yeah, I mean, who is he anyway? I mean, he's just like the president of baseball operations for the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, why have him in the first 5 shows or the first 3 months? No, just wait a year and a half. Come on.
I thought maybe he's too busy. I don't know. I didn't want to bother him with it. I have him on every Sunday, so I didn't want to disrupt him and do the Garage Happy Hour. He's a guy. The cool thing about that, having him on that show, was seeing him as a guy. He's one of us. He's a guy. I know that he has an important job, but we're all kind of making our way through this journey called life, and this last year has been just so disruptive and challenging, and in some ways enlightening, and in some ways, very hard. And we've all kind of gone through it together, haven't we? And now, we get to watch baseball for a living. That's pretty cool.
That is very, very cool. But you're absolutely right. Last season, and talking about sticking with the baseball theme, last season was really weird for me. It was really weird because first starts really late. Second, it starts, and the first thing they do when you get to the stadium, they give you a temperature check with the gun looking thing, right? So the last thing you want is to go to a stadium and get a handgun or something that looks like a gun anywhere in your body. So that was pretty weird. But then you kind of you understand what it's for and why MLB, and in this case the Cardinals, is doing that, or why are they doing that. And you go with it. You go with it, and you try to enjoy it as much as you can. It was not easy. I mean, like you said, we get to watch baseball and talk about baseball for a living. Then again, it sounds easy, but it's not easy to do. I mean, it takes some weird people to do what we do for a living, because you can put a lot of folks in front of a microphone and a lot of people criticize what we do for a living and the way we do it. But then you say, hey, here you go. Here's my mic. Here's the money I'm getting paid for today. You do it. Oh, no. Why should I need? I'm okay then. Let's go. So it's been interesting. It's been sad at times to see the stadiums empty. But now that we are here this season, everything is changing. Things are different. And I just love to see the fans back in the stadium. The one thing, Tom, that I'm a little confused, and this is very serious. Last season, we had Fred Bird in the stadium. He was the only one in the stadium. right? The guy he pulled through, and he was going nuts in there by himself. He was clapping and cheering and telling the ghost of the fans past to cheer with them. And this year, the poor guy cannot even come into the stadium. It's like I mean, this is not the bird flu, is it? It's the coronavirus or COVID. So Fred Bird, I'm gonna start a movement. Hashtag free Fred Bird, everybody. Just like we
I
were
like that.
cheering, yeah, just like today we were cheering. We believe in Carpenter, Bengie Molina and I before Carp hit the home run. We're gonna start a hashtag free Fred Bird, free Fred Bird, free Fred Bird.
Yeah, I missed that on the sheet of regulations. Like Fred Bird will not be allowed in Busch Stadium. I don't that.
I mean, maybe he has COVID. I don't know, but I see him like far away in the center field. But hey, it's fun. It's fun to be back, and the fans understand things are moving. Things are opening up in a few different stadiums. Hopefully, soon enough we'll have it here in St. Louis too.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot wait for that. And while we're doing this live, we're doing this on a Thursday for those who catch this on replay. We're in a great mood because the Cardinals just came off a really nice win, a walk-off wild pitch that scored Tyler O'Neill. Before that, Alex Reyes, 2 scoreless innings. And before that, Matt Carpenter hits a go-ahead home run that is like this close to being caught. It actually was caught for a
It
half
was
second
caught.
and then
Yeah.
went over the wall for that's just his season, isn't it? Or the last couple of years for him was that
That's
ball to
it.
be caught?
And during the Spanish broadcast on 880 La Tremenda with Bengie Molina, I mentioned it. I'm like, look, if that guy catches the ball and that's an out, if I am Matt Carpenter, I just take my uniform there on first base. I drop my shirt, I drop my bats, I take off my shoes. He doesn't even wear gloves to hit, and I just say, peace out, thank you so much. I'm out. I'm gone. That's it. It's unbelievable what's happening to him, and that was a crazy play. And then later during the post game show with Valley Sports with Jim Hayes, he said that. He said, "Hey, if Quinn catches that ball, I'm out. I retire and I join you guys in the booth." So that tells you that sometimes the crazy people in the booth and the crazy people playing the game, we don't do the same thing, but we see the same things and we think alike a lot.
Yeah, no, I hear that, and they have to be a little crazy too to do what they do. And now they get paid a lot of money to do what they do, but the dedication, the pressure that's applied to that each and every day to be great is pretty immense. And Matt Carpenter's been through a lot of stuff, but all of these players go through various things. I think that's part of what makes you great, Polo, is that you respect those players. And now you tell it like it is, but you respect what they represent, which is greatness, dedication to their craft,
And feelings, because like last night, for those watching on replay, before on the third game of the series, Phillies Cardinals, that's what the whole Genesis Cabrera, Bryce Harper happened. I mean, when that happened, and mind you, let me make something clear, and we all see the replays and all that. Harper actually moved a little bit, because I keep hearing people, "Oh man, that was straight to his face." Yeah, I hit him right on this side. So Carpenter's hitting, the ball is coming this way. So if he would have hit him on this side, yeah, that's straight. So the guy saw the ball and he moved it just a little bit. And
put his
that
hand up.
little bit, yeah, that little bit might have saved his nose, his face, and who knows, maybe even his life. And we saw what Cabrera was just out. He was just like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that." And then it's not because it was Bryce Harper or because it was Babe Ruth or Albert Pujols or any the biggest superstar in the planet. It was just because it's a human being, and that was the human aspect of the whole play. When Cabrera is worried about his colleague, and then he needs to face another guy, because he has to stay in there. And what happens? Boom, he hits the next guy up. And again, he is worried about everything that's going on. All of a sudden, Joe Girardi comes out and they start screaming at each other. And it's the human side of baseball, or the human side of any profession that sometimes we all forget. It's easy for me, and I've done it, and I know you probably did it too a bunch of times,
Oh,
to buy
sure.
a ticket, go to a stadium, and just tell them, "Oh, you stink this, you stink that." I mean, we'll do it, right? But at the time we're doing it, we're not really thinking what we're saying. We say it because yeah, it's part of what everybody's saying here. But then imagine, that's somebody's kid, somebody's dad, and when Benji comes in, he's gonna tell you their mom. Hey, there he is, Benji. I was telling Tom about how the human aspect of baseball players sometimes gets lost and how fans yell at the players. And then sometimes there's family members right next to them, and the family members they have to eat what somebody's saying about you guys, about the players. But with your mom, there was a different story. If anybody said anything about any of the Molina brothers while they were playing, oh my goodness. One time she almost beat a guy up with her cane in New York because he yelled at Bengie Molina for not giving him an autograph. And Bengie was with his family and they were going out to eat. So some guys, hey Benji, you got my ball. And Benji's, you know what? I'm in a hurry, man. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, you suck, this and that, Bengie Molina, you're the worst of the Molinas, and blah, 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 blah. And then the mom, she was like, you better stop saying that to my son, or I'll go in and I'll put this thing over your head. I mean, and that's the human side of baseball that we don't see. And we are seeing it again with Dennis Cabrera yesterday, that he didn't want to hit Harper or anybody else. And then the day after with Carpenter hitting the home run, and the emotion that moment brought to everybody, not just Cardinal fans, but obviously Matt Carpenter and around baseball too. It's just crazy to think that so many people judge you by what you're doing without thinking about you being just one of the guys, or just kind of like the same as them. It's interesting. And then again, we know what we're getting into when we start doing this stuff.
Yeah, you feel that, Benji, as a former player?
Yeah, all the time. I had a lot of people yell at me in front of my family. They always told me. One day, my daughter came to me and said, "Hey, Daddy, you like pizza?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, why? Yes, I love pizza." I didn't know what she was talking about, and I said, "Oh, they were all saying that you were fat because you like pizza and you eat pizza a lot and da da da." But that was my daughter who heard that. So, oh, believe me, we heard it, and those are fans. I mean, I don't care so much about it because that's what they do. But sometimes you have to be careful when you're a fan. Actually, there's kids around, and that's what they're gonna learn. And that was my worry. That was my worry. The kids around, and knowing that they were gonna say it, it didn't bother me. It's just the way they did it.
I was always helpful. I was always careful when I was yelling at players when I was a fan.
Me,
You know,
tell them. At me in Dodger
no,
Stadium,
no,
you were
no,
yelling at me.
no. I never called you. No, no,
Yeah,
Benji.
you're talking
No,
about my
no,
mom and everybody.
no, no. I know,
Uh-uh,
but the thing is,
man.
back then I didn't know you, or I didn't know your mom. So you have to understand. I just knew you were wearing the Giants uniform, and before that, the Angels uniform. And me, back then, being a Dodgers fan, who do you dislike the most? Well, the Angels and the Giants. And then Bengie Molina, every time he came up to Dodger Stadium, he would kill us. So what am I gonna say? Cheer you on and cheer your mom? No, I'm gonna make sure that you are uncomfortable before you go to a bats, Bengie. Come on, man.
you just you just get us better because we probably concentrate more. We get mad more. We're like, okay, we got to get these dudes because these fans are the worst and blah blah blah. Like that. So it actually helps sometimes. The only thing I got to say about fans is New York. For me, New York are the worst fans because I mean when I'm not saying loyalty to the Yankees. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to the opposing team. So because I get to hear so many horrible things in Spanish and English,
Ah,
so that's what makes it worse.
which was it? And they probably see that as a badge of honor in some way. There are some big time hecklers over there. Mets or Yankees, did it matter? Uh,
Uh, the Mets were worse, I think. I think the Mets were worse, even though the Yankees are there, man. They're even it up with them. I think I really do believe they're really really hardcore fans. Dodgers are bad too.
Yeah. Now, so when you were a member of the Angels and you were a world champion, and I mean, this is Bengie Molina we're talking about, Gold Glover, world champion, great, great player. And I know that you enjoyed your time there. I got to think that time as a Giant was some of the best years of your life in that rivalry with the Dodgers and that great baseball team, and how much those fans cared about you and how you were seen as one of the leaders of that team, Bengie. That had to have been fun. But those bitter rivalries with the Dodgers were really something. Unless you've been in that environment, you don't realize how intense that is.
It is very, very intense. I think it's also when I play in Toronto, and you had to go to the East Coast to those teams and New York and stuff. That was rough. But you're right. I mean, the Giants, the rivalry there with the Dodgers, it's in the top, man. It's in the top, and it's really, really serious. It's not because we're saying it. It's because it's real, man. They put people to the hospitals. They fight. They do everything, you know. So it's just. Thank you, Titi. Gracias. Yeah, and it's just amazing the way that you feel the game. But at the same time, it makes you concentrate more. It makes you be on the game more because all you want is to do good for your team. Obviously, it's a rivalry. You want to win. So I think it helps you in a way.
I can't imagine what that was like, Polo, when Fernando Valenzuela was pitching for the Dodgers in his prime, and what that was like at Dodger Stadium. Now, you grew up, your family, big Padres fans, but it was when Valenzuela became a Dodger that you felt a connection, didn't you? And so did a city.
Absolutely. I mean, I was a 5, 6-year-old kid growing up in Tijuana, Mexico, cheering for the Padres. So I have a lot to be thankful and a lot to thank Fernando for because he turned me into a Dodger fan back then. Imagine me being a Padre fan, not winning anything for 50 years now. It's yeah, exactly. That's the shot of my Padre fans or friends that are probably watching this, or they will eventually.
My sister lives there. Yeah, they're not bad over there. Yeah.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. You know, it's their fan base. It's
Hey,
a
it's a
really
great
nice,
city. How's that?
mellow. Yeah. It's a great city. You know what the best part of San Diego is?
The best
No,
city, the beach, the
no.
hotels.
What is the best part of San Diego?
The best area, or just the best thing about it?
Yeah, the best part, the best area, whatever you want to say.
Best
Look at
area,
who I got
boy,
here.
I'm gonna say probably La Jolla.
No, you're wrong. The best part of San Diego is Tijuana.
Tijuana.
That's
How
it.
you doing?
That's it. Okay, Ben just got a very special visitor here.
Look at this is
granddaughter.
This is Annalyn.
Hi.
Say hi.
Are you having
This is
fun?
Tom,
you having a good day?
and this is Polo. Remember Polo?
She
No.
doesn't remember
She'll
me.
be
I
all
was too
right.
drunk. I mean, yeah, I met her before. A couple of years ago, 2019, Bengie and I was thinking about this just the other day. I've been around the world with Bengie and with the Cardinals, the cruise we did a couple of years ago. We went to Jamaica and to Turks and Caicos and a bunch of places like that, right? And then that same year, I think, or before that, one of those, whatever it was, after, I don't remember.
We were drunk. Don't worry.
Yeah, we were in
It
Puerto
doesn't
Rico
count.
we were in Puerto Rico for 12 days, man. Tom, if you want to have some fun, like for real, like nice, clean fun that you are never going to forget, come to Puerto Rico with us.
Or text Emily, Jill, Craig, all those guys, and they'll tell you how much fun
people
it
that
is.
work at the Cardinals. They were there when they did the documentary about Yachty, his family, with Bengie, with Cheo, and we were there, man. Oh my! It was a lot of dancing, a lot of eating, a lot of drinking, a lot of walking around, a lot of drinking. Did I mention drinking? It was
Hey,
but
the
drinking
first 4
water.
nights. Tell him, Paulo. The first 4 nights, Tom. First 4 nights, we got home at 4 or 5 a.m.
Oh,
to the
It's
hotel.
but the thing is, it was the hour difference. You know, we were used to West Coast because Benji lives in Arizona. I live in California. So when you get to Puerto Rico, it's 4 hours difference. So you know, we couldn't go to sleep anyway. So might as well stay up and you know play dominoes and eat. And I mean, no, it was a lot of fun. And you know, obviously the drinking part. We all have a couple of beers here and there. Just be careful. Don't drink and drive because you know it's never good. But it's fun, man. It's fun. And this what you see here, what you hear here, Tom. This is part of our broadcast. You know, we talk about different things. Obviously, the baseball is always the most important thing. And just like today, you know, like I was telling Tom Benji before Carp came up to bat, we both saw him on the batting circle there, and we're like, okay, let's go. All right, Carp, you can do this. And I start saying, hey, if this is not it, this is not the moment, it's never going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it's never going to happen. And then Benji is like, we believe in Carpenter. So we got chanting, the both of us. And here's the pitch. And then there goes the ball. And I'm like, uh-oh, is it going to stay? Is it going to go? Is it going to stay? And then it goes. And fireworks and everything. So we believe in Carpenter. And I hope everybody else does, out there does. Because, hey, he's a good hitter. He is a very strong hitter that it's just been very unlucky. And you know, it's hard to explain. And we don't even want to explain that or try to explain it because I don't understand it. Benji doesn't understand it. Nobody does.
It's very crazy as a player. You know, it's really rough. It's really rough when you go through a stretch of like 2-3 years like this, and you want to perform so bad. You want to perform for the city. You want to perform for yourself. You want to perform for the team. You want to help out everybody. You want to contribute. And all of a sudden you find yourself in these kind of slumps. Oof, man. I don't even want to get into how hard it is to do that in Carp's heart. You know, how bad he feels that he's going through this. That's why today was an unbelievable hit because I think it should give him a little bit more confidence going out. But if you keep struggling, I mean, obviously you're gonna have to do something about it. It is really, really rough, Tom. It's one of the worst things you can go through. What he's going through, what De Jong is going through.
Yeah,
I mean that is the worst feeling in baseball.
yeah, it's tough. And then you know, I was talking to Polo about the respect that you have for that, and that does make your broadcast that much better. You know, I think. And when I look back to 2019, when the Cardinals went to the playoffs, went to Atlanta, and I went with you guys down there and did some reporting on the team, I remember the series, of course. I remember enjoying the baseball. But one thing that sticks in my mind is at the hotel with you guys in the lobby, just telling stories. And, like, that's where you really learn what's going on, that they're human beings. And things are happening. You know, these aren't things that you would necessarily repeat on the air. It's just knowing, like, these are people that are going to bed, getting up in the morning, making calls that they have to make, saying hi to their family, going to do a job. You know, we're in their office.
Yeah, and sometimes you wake up with the flu. Sometimes you wake up with the soreness somewhere. You name it. Sometimes you got to take your daughter to a doctor. Sometimes you have to wake up and pay the bills. Sometimes you have to do these little things that people don't even consider. Sometimes you got to go wake up, get a breakfast, go to lunch, go to Walmart, go to Target. I don't know how you are with the names, but you know, you got to go places to buy groceries and just be a normal guy because that's what we are. We just do a job that not many people can do, but we're still normal. You know, it's not a. That's why fans needs to understand that a little more.
Yeah, and that a lot of people see, so it's very, very public. Back to Puerto Rico for a minute. You're absolutely right. When I did Yachty's event the last couple years, Yachty was kind enough to ask me to be part of that and to help run that. And you know, I thought it was amazing to see the response of everybody about Puerto Rico. And I had every single person in that room said, "You got to come down. Like, you got to come. You got to go." And I feel Benji the bond of your family and your friends and the love of baseball and family are kind of intertwined. Like, I think the first time that you and I really met was when I hosted your book signing, when you came out with the book about the Molina family. And that book had a real effect on me because I learned about all of you, but I related to a lot of things there, that how close you are.
Tom, if you have a mom and dad, right, and they're very strict, our uncles and aunts are stricter than that. Our cousins, they know and they tell you, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing that because, my uncle's going to get you, things like that. So you grow up like that. You grow up doing anything you can for your family, trying to make them better, trying to help them out, whatever you can. So these are years, man. These are years doing this same thing. So I told Polo the same thing before he went over. I said, hey, be ready because we are really tight. Our family, my family is always tight. We play bingo together. We saw that already. We play dominoes together. We hang out at people's houses, at our family houses. I mean, this is real. So I think through the years you build that. You build that, togetherness, and you build that tightness and being tight with the family. And I think that's how it happened.
And Paulo, you have a great respect for the craft as a play-by-play man, as a Cardinals broadcaster. When did you start dreaming of doing it?
I have never, to this day. It's just something that, like I've said this many, many times. This is the dream that I never had a chance to dream about. It's not that it just happened to me. It's not that it landed on my lap, right? Um, but when the opportunity came about, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I didn't go to school for this. I barely finished high school in Tijuana, and from high school I get to work. I was working through high school, and then high school ended, and I got to work, and that's when I moved to the United States of America, back in 1990, 95, 96. And that's when my American dream started. My American dream was buy a nice truck, get a jet ski, and go to visit your mom every weekend, and go to Rosarito or Ensenada to ride your jet ski. I don't have a jet ski. I have a couple of nice cars, but no jet ski, and I don't think I'm gonna buy a jet ski, right? But that was my dream. That was my dream. Then I got married, and my dream was to have a nice family, and I do. I have my son, my daughter, my wife, 4 dogs in Santa Barbara, California. I mean, that it doesn't really get a lot better than that. Nothing against people in the Midwest, and I love it here. People ask me, "Would you ever move to the Midwest?" I'm like, "Yes." I mean, if there's a reason for me to be here year round, of course I will. But luckily, right now, the way our job is set up, I can be here and I can go back home and I can come back here and just keep doing it. So every day is it's a reality of that dream that I never had a chance to dream about. It's a reality of that kid that back in 1980, 79, 80, 81. We'll drive with his mom and his dad, and his sisters from Tijuana to San Diego to the good old Jack Murphy Stadium, and watch Dave Winfield, Ozzie Smith. I mean, I remember Ozzie Smith with the Padres. Flashbacks in my brain. I remember seeing the little fro under that yellow and brown hat. I remember. And then Gary Templeton. I remember Tony Gwynn going to those games when I was a little kid, that then turned into a passion for Fernando Valenzuela, and all this baseball passion with me was because my dad will go at least every Sunday for years, and then during the week to play baseball in Tijuana. And that is when I started calling my games when I was a bat boy. In my head, I will always listen to the radio, and broadcasters, the Padre broadcasters back then, Mario Thomas and Gustavo Lopez, and later in life, Eduardo Ortega, who is still doing games for the Padres. And that's when I start calling games in my head without thinking that one day I was going to be the one calling the games and have kids and parents and families together listening to what I have to say. So the answer can be really short, like I never had that dream, or the answer can be really, really long, and I can keep on going for
I love
another
it.
hour and a half. It just It is what we do, and this is what Tom, what people sometimes they ask me, and I don't know if they've asked Benji. So how long have you guys met each other? You guys known each other since they were kids? Like, no, I met Bengie Molina, the person, the color guy, not the ball player, but the color commentator that's going to be with me the day we did our first game back in
Wow, I
September of
actually didn't realize that.
2016. Yeah, right outside the dugout, right out. Actually, I met Yadi before I met Benji because I came home. I came to St. Louis a day before. So that's where we met. Right before the game, we shook hands and hey, let's go, let's do this. Vamos arriba, dale. Hey, whatever happens, happens. And what happened is it's still happening. It's still happening. And the connection, his story, my story, have a lot of similarities. His story, I read the book also. I heard about his tios, Tio Paco, Titi Charo, this and that, their dad, their mom. I heard about the places where they used to play ball. And I was imagining it, like put in my head, oh, I wonder how is that? I wonder how is that? So when I went to Puerto Rico, I was lucky enough to go to most of those places. And those places and those tios, uncles, and aunts look a lot like my uncles and my aunts, and the places look a lot like my places. The house they grew up in El Barrio La Ponderosa, it looks a lot like the house my grandma used to live. So when I went to that house, I'm like, dang, our lives are more similar than what I thought. When they tell me, oh, we walked to school from here to there, and then sometimes we'll get in fights. And oh, by the way, you see, like 3 houses from my house, this girl that I used to love, she lived there. So I'm like, so I remember my neighbor. Yeah, I was in love with my next door neighbor, right? So a lot of those stories made me realize that I was in the right place at the right time. And now, like I said, and like you can see, we have a great time calling games. And I mean, we like each other so much. We live in the same building, like 3 doors down.
Oh,
We
really?
don't sleep in the same place. We don't sleep in the same room. But we walk to the park sometimes. Sometimes we take one car or whatever it is. It's just what you see and what you hear from us. It's real. We're not trying to sell you that we like each other. We're not just trying to tell you that we're friends, that we mingle together. Oh yeah, well they take a picture and that's all they post. If we took a picture every time we go out, believe me, people will see us every single day together when we're here. It's really cool. I like it a lot. I really do. And I mean, it makes my job and being away from my family in California a lot easier to be with somebody that I can see as my brother, as a friend. And then when their mom is here, she treats me like one of her kids. She yells at me. She, I'm not, she spanks me. I mean, she does. Whenever I say something, she just slaps me. Or she's like,
she tries to punch you, but she can't reach
yeah,
you.
yeah, she tries to punch you. It just, everything makes sense when it comes down to my life with Benji and the broadcast with the Cardinals because it's a sense of family, and my family was built around love, religion, and baseball. His family was built around love, religion, and baseball. I mean,
You, I think you guys make the Cardinals sound really, really big. And do you ever think about? I know you're having fun and you're having a great time and you guys are close, but do you ever think about the importance of what you're doing? So you're on 880 AM, as we know here in the St. Louis area, but you're also on the MLB app. So you literally can pick up this broadcast anywhere in the world. And, I hear a lot of people older than us, we're all about the same age, older than us that say, they grew up, they became Cardinals fans because they listened to Jack Buck and Harry Carey and Joe Garagiola. And do you think that people are becoming Cardinals fans maybe by the day because they're listening to Polo Ascencio and Bengie Molina?
That I think that could be right. I mean, Tom, what we do is try to make it fun for them because with the radio, they don't see us, right? So we have that mindset when we go on the air, and we already talked about it. Me and Paul, we always talk about it. Like we have to make it so fun that they stick right there with us the all 9 innings and the post game show. that's how our mentality is. That's why if you listen to us, you're gonna hear us laughing most of the time because we've been serious giving you the game, but then here we go telling you a joke or something funny that happened
Story.
to me when a story, something funny that happened to me or happened to Polo related to that play at the plate or related to the first base or a center fielder or a pitcher or a manager getting tossed or something like that. And then I'll make it fun for the fans. So that's our main goal, to make it fun for them so they can stick with us. So, yeah, I think we can. And we're just beginning, Tom. I mean, this is only 81 games at home. So I hope in the future we can stay longer and forever with this because we will really make new fans.
I
It,
agree
it,
with you.
it makes a difference, Tom. Like this last week, right? A lot of times, and broadcasters that I talk to, and they're like, "Hey, sometimes you send too many shout outs out there. Like, hey, you know what? Hey, Tom Ackerman in San Luis, thank you for listening to Cardinal baseball. Here's the pitch, ball one. And also, hey, you know what? Pancho from Argentina is listening to. Hey, thank you. We know you love soccer, but by the way, there's a fly ball to center field. Dylan Carlson catches the ball. So thank you so much for listening to us. We know you love soccer over there, but Argentina, we love you too. So that is kind of what we do, right? We tell people, where are you listening from? Where are you from? And this is something that Jack Buck, Vince Scully, and all those great names that you mentioned, Harry Carey, they didn't have that. They didn't have. They
Right.
had the connection. It was like a monologue. They were, but they didn't get anything back until the game was over, and they go to the bar and drink a Budweiser. With us, we don't need to go to the bar and drink a Budweiser. We can be in our booth, and we can hear you. We can hear you talking to us through Instagram and Twitter. Like today with Carpenter, there's a fortune teller. This guy super popular. His name was, he died, Puerto Rican, Walter Mercado. Walter Mercado. He is one of those guys that will like give you the Pisces and Virgo and like tell you your fortune on TV, right? Like super remember that pianist Liberace with the big coats and
Yeah.
everything. Well, Walter Mercado was that guy. So today, when with the Carpenter thing, I'm like, I can feel it, Benji. I feel it. I feel the force. He's gonna do it. He's gonna get us out of the channel. He's gonna come out of it. So he hits a home run, and I'm like, I feel like Walter Mercado. Call me 1-800-Polo, and I will tell you your fortune. And this is during the broadcast. Well, what happens 5 minutes later? Somebody tweets out a picture of Walter Mercado where he puts my face in there. So is it so these people are listening and they are playing along with us. And that is what I think makes broadcasting right now so important. Yes, nothing is more important than the game, but to have that communication with your fans during the game. I mean, I cannot even imagine what I will feel if I send a tweet to Jaime Jarrin back in the day and he replies at me while he's doing the game. I'll go nuts. So now imagine people say, oh, when you give a kid a baseball at the stadium, he's a fan for life. I want to think that when we reply to tweets or Instagram or whatever messages, that is a fan for life. And that goes to answer your question. I think we are creating fans for life, except my daughter. Even if she wears Cardinals, I know deep down she wants the Dodgers to beat the Cardinals, but it's okay, Bianca. I forgive
That's
you
all right.
because you sent her chocolate.
Benji, what's the feedback from the players and their families, for that matter?
Oh my gosh, we get so much. I mean, right now, obviously, we couldn't do it much because usually we get feedbacks and stuff when we went downstairs to the BP and while they were walking in, they would come and say hi. We had the Facebook Live with some of them, but man, it's just the fans. I mean, the players love it. Love it. I mean, Carlitos came to us one day and said, "Hey, man, now my uncles and my mom and everybody over there in Dominican are listening to you guys in Spanish." And same with Cafe Martinez when he was here. Hey, my uncle in Florida is listening, man, in Venezuela. get feedback from everybody.
There he is.
You know, everybody. So the feedback is really, really good. The players love it. The players that we have are very nice people. I mean, they come to us, even the high end players. You know, they come to us. I mean, we had a Facebook Live with Yadi. We have had one with Gio. We have one with everybody. I mean, they all can, even Paul Dion in Spanish. So I think we're going on the right track for getting more fans and stuff like that. So I think we're going in the right track. I think it's the more, and when the BP comes back and they let us go downstairs and say hi to these players, I think it's going to be even better.
It's good. I had an alert on my phone, so I think that knocked me off there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah.
Did you?
I was.
I think we all just got an Amber Alert, is what happened there.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm not
You
in
didn't
trouble.
get that?
You guys are in trouble. You guys are the troublemakers. No.
But here at just kind of finish here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really appreciate this, and I know that we have a lot of people watching live, and a lot of people are going to watch this on replay. But kind of to circle back to the ball club and the fun of being part of the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, it really is a good club. I mean, it's as we're talking right now on April 29th, Polo, I think it's a work in progress still, but the pieces are starting to come together. And if they can figure out a way, this team will be very competitive. They're not as good as the Dodgers or Padres right now, but I think there's an opportunity for them to spar with those teams here down the road.
The good thing is when this team makes the playoffs, they only have to face one of those teams at a time. We don't need to face the best of the Dodgers and the best of the Padres. We don't need to face the NL West All-Stars. We don't. We need to face one team at a time. And we all know baseball. We all know baseball. It's a long season again. And teams that are hot right now are going to be cold eventually. And teams that are cold right now are going to get hot. So it's a revolving door. It's like a cement mixer. You put all the right pieces together. You mix, until you think everything's perfect. Then you go down then and pour that cement out. And we mentioned this during the broadcast. 1 to 5 in the lineup. I think those are set now. Little by little, Schilt, Albert, Marmol, and all those guys down there, they are putting together their team. Hopefully, when Yadi comes back, he comes back strong as he was at the beginning of the season, and he's the fifth in the lineup. But perhaps O'Neill, O'Neill has some good at bats. He can be there with Yadi. So now you have from 1 to 6. Then you need to figure out the guys at the bottom. What's going on with Paul DeJong? What's going on with Justin Williams, or when Bader comes back? I mean, the pitcher is going to be the pitcher. But little by little, this team is getting it there. And just like it has happened over the last, 3 or 4 years, the Central is tight. Everybody wins. They all win 3, then they lose 3, then they lose 1, they lose 2, they win 2. Everybody's tight. And I feel it's going to be like this at least until August. That's when, like something I say, los niños se convierten en hombres, los hombres en héroes, y los héroes en leyenda. In the summer, that's when kids become men become heroes, and heroes become legends. And remember, like the movie said, and legends never die.
Oh man, I love it. And and Bengie, I can't have you on here and not ask you a question about Yadi. I was looking at the stats today, and his numbers are so good, even with him out right now with injury, and he's missed 3 or 4 of the last 5 games. He had that one with Waino. Of course, they go 9 innings, just unbelievable. But he's the co-leader in home runs, and he's had some big hits. He caught his 2,000th game. No one in the history of baseball did that with one team, and I thought, thank goodness he's doing all this as a Cardinal. I mean, what a special thing that he's wearing that uniform and not somebody else's. And it is an incredible moment in time, isn't it? I mean, a very special window that we're all soaking in.
I think it needed to happen, Tom. I think regardless of what the money was and whatever, I think Waino and Yadi needed to finish here. But what is more incredible is that these 2 guys were our two best players on the team for the past 2 years. We're not trying to sign somebody who has struggled. I'm not gonna name names here, but we had a couple guys that are getting paid really good money, and they've been struggle for 3 years, for example, or the pitchers that, obviously they're getting paid good money and they're not performing to their, capabilities or something like that. We're not doing that. We're not trying. We're not begging. We're trying to sign our two best players and our two veterans and our two freaking Cardinals. These are like legit Cardinals. So it needed to happen in my heart. I never understood why they didn't do it way sooner than that. But it needed to happen, Tom. And I think Yadi and Wayno are super excited to be back and maybe finish their career here. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows when they wear those red jackets together, and who knows, when that exactly will be. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to keep playing. I mean, look at these guys.
No,
They're unbelievable.
why would they stop?
Why would they? Why would they? Yeah, why would they ever stop?
There's no reason
Until
for
their
that.
body tells them not to.
Yeah,
the
unless
way
they want to.
are. Yeah, the way they are both playing. Well, obviously, Yadi. We were talking about Yadi playing another year. Guys, right now he has a broken toe or a broken foot. But the way they are playing, I don't see why they wouldn't come back for another year. And Yadi has mentioned it. It's not a thing that he tells me. He tells everybody he wants this year and one more year, and then we'll see. I think when Yadi retires from here, from MLB, he's not going to retire from baseball. If you think that he's going to go into the sunset and never play again, no. He's going to be playing Puerto Rico. He's going to be like Ruben Sierra, 50 years old and still playing the Dominican ball. That's him. That. No, that's him. That's him. That's why he takes care of his body. And over the last 3, 4, 5 years, he's been taking care of his body more and more and more because he felt it. He felt that maybe his body was slowing down or he didn't like the way he was feeling. And this offseason, there's the alarm again. This offseason, he changed his routine. He lost a little weight. Then after he lost weight, he gained muscle, and that's why he's hitting the ball. He's hitting rockets out of the bat. He changed that. He is discovering his body. So I mean, when you see guys like him, when you see guys like Nelson Cruz, that really take care of their bodies, nobody can tell me that they are getting ready to retire because I don't think they are.
I think, Tom, that whenever you see guys that are performing, I don't see the age. I see the guys performing. The guys will tell you exactly when they're done. These guys will show. Nelson Cruz is going to go slow down. Yadi's going to slow down at some point. Wayne will slow down, but wait for that to happen. Don't just think that they're going to be done. Oh, yeah, this is 1 year and they're done. I mean, how do you know? It's even worse to think about it because you have potential players. You have potential players that haven't performed to what you said it was their potential. You see how it works? So as long as I have players that perform for me, I wouldn't even want to change. I mean, the last couple of years, these two guys have been the horse of the team. Literally the horse of the team the last couple of years. And I didn't see why they couldn't sign them early, but they're here. We're happy for that. And hopefully they can do that. If they can play the way they're doing, they can do that during the season and say, hey, man, we want you guys for one more year.
It's a very exciting time to be a Cardinals fan with those two, not only legendary figures still wearing the uniform, but playing at an extremely high level and a World Series level. And believe it, the Cardinals are going to make sure that they're in a great position to win this thing. And it is hard sometimes, I know.
We're probably a couple players away, Tom.
Yeah, I
couple players. It could be our players, too. I'm not saying we have to go and trade for somebody. Because if the young cut fire hitting or one of the bottom of the lineup guys like O'Neill catch fire, we can do this, man. We can do this. But also we can go get somebody that performs on a consistent basis. But we're like a couple players away, man. I'm super excited. I know Polo is excited too. So we see something good. It's just that the guys who needs to perform, they really need to do it for us to go somewhere.
Well, we are very fortunate to have great broadcasters. And this is Mike Shannon's 50th year in the broadcast booth. He's a legend. He's iconic. He's amazing. And John Rooney is one of the best that's ever done it. And Ricky Horton and Mike Claiborne are incredible in that booth. And on the television side, Dan McLaughlin, like, it just doesn't get better than Dan McLaughlin as the TV play-by-play man. It just doesn't. And all of the analysts that they rotate through there, and he's just so good, and they're all good. But I'll tell you, I wish you both continued success because, like I said, I think that it is a great tribute to the tradition of Cardinal baseball and that you are continuing it with an amazing effort. And I just love your energy and your dedication to the team, and especially your dedication to the Garage Happy Hour and making this happen. This has been awesome. Welcome to my garage, by the way. Thank you for doing this.
Let me tell you, tell them to give us 1 inning. 1 inning in English. We're not asking for too much. And we're not trying to take anybody's job or anything. We just want to see if we could do it, Tom. You know, like in English, we'll make it fun. But we're not trying to take anybody's job at all.
Oh, man. That'd be good.
That'll be fun.
Crazy. Hey, maybe spring training. Spring training.
Yeah, anytime, anyway.
But hey, it should be fun. You know, it should be fun. But hey, Tom,
maybe
again,
the three of us, or would I break up the chemistry? Would I,
Yeah, no, you're not part of this. You're not part of this. You're not Latino. I mean, I know you. I knew you drank more tequila than all of us together, or drank more, or drank more beer, or had more nachos than me and Bengie. But no, come on, man, no.
Not me. I can't.
No, not you. No.
You guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, next time we need to do this in Spanish, though.
You know what? I gotta brush up on my Spanish for sure. Meaning, like, I gotta learn it.
Hey, believe me, we are learning Spanish too, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, we don't know much of it.
Love you guys. You guys are a great positive influence on everybody that you come across, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for being on the Garage Happy Hour. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. We take pride, Tom, on being in the Cardinal organization. We really do. We're always looking up and saying yes. We're always looking up and looking and say, hey, man, we represent the Cardinals, and we want to do it as good as we can. And that's why you see us like this. I think we care so much, and we thank you for having us in the show, and we thank the Cardinals for having us as broadcasters, man. I mean, we love it.
Yeah, man. I'm just glad the Phillies kept their TV announcers in Philadelphia, but if I hear what they said last night about Mike Schilt, and I see them today at the stadium, leave me. I would have gone and said, you know what, guys, you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know if you saw. Yeah, I don't know if you saw John Heyman's tweet this morning, but I saw it right before I went on doing the radio pregame, and I don't get emotional very often, but I went off early. So
no, I was ready to go Terrell Owens on them. That's my quarterback. No, that's my manager, man. That's my manager, man. And if you want some, let's go. I'm from the mean streets of Tijuana, Mexico. What's up?
I appreciate it. I love that fire.
3 miles.
I love that fire.
I need to go run like 3 or 4 miles, man. I'm too excited.
All right, thank you so much, guys. And we have 2 sponsors to tell you about. Bommarito Automotive Group sponsors our show, and also Well First Health. You can just go to wellfirsthealth.medicare/legacy group. That's a lot to remember. Just look up Well First Health. It's from SSM Health, and they can. There it is, right there. They can tell you, as Ozzie Smith has done, the differences in Well First Medicare Advantage plans. You can see it for yourself. And Bommarito, I mean, that's where you get a car in St. Louis. Bommarito Automotive.
Hey, Bommarito, Latinos buy cars too.
Yeah,
sponsors on the Spanish side. Yo compro carros. Venga, compre su carro en Bommarito hoy mismo y conozca a Bengie Molina y Polo Ascencio. Bommarito, los mejores carros de todo San Luis.
There it is. And we say so long for the Garage Happy Hour for this word from Bommarito.
At Bommarito, shop thousands of new vehicles. Get more for your trade. The Bommarito nationwide warranty, 10 years, 200,000 miles, and the best service after the sale. Bommarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group, open 24/7 at Bommarito.